Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this will be a spoiler-free review for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to try and keep this as laid back and sort of quick as I can, because Marvel content is like the biggest thing on my channel. But I just got out of the theater tonight. I'm going to be posting this video tomorrow morning by the time you guys see this. But this will be my raw reactions to the movie. And so this movie's got some pretty controversial takes. I see some 5 out of 5s out there, some 4 out of 5s, 3 out of 5s. I even see some 2 out of 5s. This probably be one of the more divisive MCU movies out there. Looks like a lot of people either love this movie or they either hate it. And so for me right now, I think it was a pretty great film. I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi. I love the Evil Dead movies. I love the Spider-Man movies. He has a very unique direction in how he makes movies. And in this movie, it's very apparent. He has his usual techniques that you kind of see in there if you've seen his other movies. And there's a big horror element to this show, especially concerning Wanda. Pretty much everything around Wanda at times has this really creepy horror vibe to it. And I love how it was done. So many times, I was like actually scared about what Wanda was about to do. I was scared about who she was going to kill, how reckless she was going to be, how far is she going to take it to get her kids back. And I have to say that was one of the best aspects of this film. Seeing Wanda's craziness, Elizabeth Olsen's performance for her, and then also Benedict Cumberbatch's performance for Doctor Strange. Pretty much the whole cast did good. I mean, Wong did good. America Chavez, new character, I thought she did good. And but I'm gonna be honest, like I can see why this movie's not gonna be for everyone. It's very fast paced. If you don't like Sam Raimi's direction, then maybe this isn't for you. If you don't like the horror vibes, and we can just get thrown into it. Like you have to have really liked WandaVision to enjoy this one. I think like if you're someone that hasn't been a fan of Phase 4 lately, if you haven't been liking the multiversal stuff, or if you haven't liked WandaVision, then you probably won't like this. You might go into this thinking it's more the same, like it might be too much craziness. But even that being said, like the Multiverse of Madness stuff, like it's not that maddening. We only really get a certain amount of time in the universes that we go to. We see a couple universes, but there's only 2 or 3 that we actually spent a significant time in. And that's one thing that I wish we got a little bit more of. I wish we got a little bit more time in these different universes, or at least got some explanations on certain ones. Like in some, you have to just sort of accept what happened in this universe, even without seeing what maybe caused the universe to get like this. And I wish there was just a little bit more explanation on certain universes, on certain characters, how they got certain ways. But I mean, it could have just opened up the doors to get those answers maybe at a later time. And I think this movie does that quite well. We get a lot of teases of what may come in terms of maybe Secret Wars. I know that might be a movie that they're planning to do. Secret Wars is a comic where it's like universes are colliding, you have incursions, you have all these different universes have to come together. Different versions, different characters have to come together to stop these 2 universes from emerging. You have Doctor Doom in there as the big bad, and he becomes like Doom God and all this stuff. That's the 2015 run, not the 1984 run. I'm not sure. But this movie could set up a couple of things like that as we see different variants of different characters. But yeah, I mean, I just had a lot of fun with it, honestly. I laughed at times, even though some line deliveries were not the best. There are a couple like one-liners, but I mean, I love one-liners. I mean, I'm a fan of like 80s cheese and action movies. So this movie has a couple one-liners that maybe some people won't like, but I had a lot of fun with it. Personally, with my theater experience, for some reason, the theater had the volume very low. So at times I couldn't even hear what a character would be saying. But that's not a fault in the movie. That was just like my own theater. So I'm going to have to maybe rewatch it in the theater or some other time just to really, wrap my head around what I actually saw. Because it does happen fast. This movie happens like that. Like everything goes by pretty quickly. You get thrown into it and there's really no time to really hold your breath. Like we're just on this adventure from the get-go and we're just hopping through all these universes, right? But the movie does have a good amount of heart. I kind of expected that with Wanda wanting her kids back. Like, I thought WandaVision was great. Definitely, I think is my favorite MCU show so far. Like, I loved like that emotional elements of Wanda and WandaVision. And we see that here, but she's a lot more violent, evil. She's a Scarlet Witch now. She's not really Wanda anymore. And so that's what this movie's whole, the whole thing's about that. Wanda wanting to get her kids, Doctor Strange sort of stopping at, and then how America Chavez plays into all that is crucial and a really cool element as well. So I mean, it's the one problem that I see, like on my own, through my own eyes, that I think some people can maybe not like, is that the story is pretty hollow for what they give us. You know, like Wanda just wanting her kids back, like you're gonna have to have seen WandaVision to know like why getting her kids back is so important. You know, because if you didn't see WandaVision, like on face value, it's just Wanda wanting her kids back and like not really seeing any of like the backstory behind that or like how strongly she feels about that. You know, and then America Chavez, like even her character, we get a little bit of backstory for her, and it is interesting and it's kind of cool, like her backstory, how it's all revealed and her powers and you know what she's actually able to do because we don't know that by the trailers. It's interesting. It's cool. It's like, okay, all of a sudden this is America Chavez. She comes out of nowhere and this is what she can do. And now it's like, you know, she's a big part of the story. It does all happen really fast. And, you know, it's either you're on board with it or you're not. So if you're not on board with it, then it's like, okay, the whole movie would just be squash for you. Like you're not going to care because a lot of it's like more of the same, you know? But I mean, the horror elements were cool. I was on board with the story from the get-go. I wouldn't call this movie amazing. I wouldn't call it, it's definitely not better than like No Way Home. But I did have a lot of fun time with it. I thought it was great. So my rating for Multiverse of Madness right now is 3.9 out of 5. I think it's more of in the middle upper tier of the MCU. I'm a huge fan of the MCU, so I give a lot of high ratings to these movies at times. So 3.9 is pretty high. I think it's a great movie for, you know, deserves a great rating. But in terms of like the MCU, like it's not like a top tier movie for me. I would say it's around like that Captain America First Avenger. I did like it a little bit better than Moon Knight. Ant-Man, sort of Falcon Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron territory for me. And, you know, that's just my own personal ranking. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I had a lot of fun. I just had fun, you know, and that's all you can ask for with these MCU movies. So that's pretty much it. I can't really talk about it without going to spoilers. I might make a spoiler video just so I can, you know, express my thoughts because you really can't say anything else. But on a technical level, I would say Sam Raimi's direction was a highlight. And the score. Danny Elfman does return to do the score. He did the Tobey Maguire movies. He's done like all the Tim Burton movies. His score is really cool. He does that horror element's great. There's one scene where it's like the score is like important in a way. And I thought it was so cool and so clever what they did there. And it was just so much fun. And if you see the trailer, you know, like the Illuminati stuff is in there. That was great. There's some cool comic book moments in there. Definitely the highlight of the movie for me, I think, was those scenes. And then watching it all unravel by the end as we have to, you know, sort of, you know, do everything. I can't even talk about it anymore. But for me personally, had a great time with it. Love the directing style. Love the score. On a rewatch, it may go up, may go down. We'll see. But for right now, that's where I stand. So let me know what you guys think of Multiverse of Madness if you've seen it already. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. Please subscribe if you're new. But I will see you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.